We usually view the calendar as a uniform grid, a flat progression, where one Tuesday is indistinguishable from the next. But occasionally, the record of human events forces us to crack that perspective open. Historically, certain dates act as focal points. While time moves linearly, cultural impact often clusters, with centuries of births and creative milestones happening to converge on a single 24-hour window. April 22nd is one of these points. When you look at the sheer density of creative history attached to this date, it stands out as an outlier. Analyzing this day reveals how much diverse artistic potential has emerged from a single rotation of the Earth, spanning from classical scores to the birth of cinematic icons. In 1899, this date saw the birth of Vladimir Nabokov. He spent his career using intricate language to construct complex narratives that challenged the traditional boundaries of the novel. By 1922, the timeline adds Charles Mingus. As a composer and bassist, he became a central figure in the development of avant-garde jazz. In 1937, the arrival of Jack Nicholson gave cinema a performer defined by an intense, singular screen presence. That same date in 1936 marked the birth of Glenn Campbell, a musician who helped define the sound of modern country music. And in 1943, poet Louise Gluck was born, starting a journey that would eventually lead to a Pulitzer Prize and the Nobel Prize in Literature. This list represents a significant concentration of raw potential. However, a birth is only a starting point. The true weight of April 22nd lies in what these individuals and others actually produced. To understand how this date functions as a catalyst, we have to look at the specific creative acts completed on this day across different centuries. In 1876, Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky completed the score for Swan Lake, an act of solitary composition that finished one of the most recognized works in the classical canon. This single completion established a lasting aesthetic for ballet, ensuring that Tchaikovsky's specific vision would be performed on stages for over 100 years. 18 years later, on April 22, 1894, a different kind of creative landmark began with the opening of the first Venice Biennale. This institution created a global platform for contemporary art, changing how nations curate and present their cultural achievements to the world. These two events show that April 22nd is connected to both the quiet finish of a masterpiece and the public launch of global institutions. In 1979, this date became the backdrop for a significant shift in Chinese visual culture. At the time, creative expression in Beijing was strictly regulated by the state. On April 22nd, the April Photo Society opened their exhibition Nature, Society, and Man, challenging the prevailing artistic norms of the era. The photographers focused on candid daily life and individual emotion, shifting the country's photography away from rigid propaganda and toward a modernized, human-centric perspective. The exhibition demonstrated how a collective creative effort could influence a nation's visual language by documenting the human experience outside of official channels. There is a final stage in any creative life cycle, the moment when active production ends and the artist's work is left to stand on its own. On April 22, 1984, Ansel Adams passed away, ending a career that had defined the American landscape. His death effectively finalized his portfolio. His black and white images of the West became static landmarks, serving as the permanent aesthetic standard for nature photography. This transition marks the point where the artist stops shaping the work, and the work begins to shape the culture independently of its creator. Adams' focus on the natural world shares this date with Earth Day, a global event established to encourage environmental protection. Earth Day now serves as an annual prompt for public art and global initiatives, maintaining a thematic link between the conservation efforts of the past and the creative projects of the present. The concentration of events on April 22nd illustrates how diverse movements, from classical music to environmental activism, can converge on a single point in the calendar. These milestones were once the present moment for Tchaikovsky, Adams, and Glick. As another April 22nd passes, it serves as a reminder that the record of cultural history is continually being written.